Welcome back to the Asylum.
I'm Kane.
And I'm Jasean.
And we are the ARKHAM inmates. And happy Friday once again. It is another Fancast Friday. But this time, we're going to switch it up. We're going to start doing some fan casting where we're going to incorporate everything nerdy, okay? This is a superhero channel, but it's also a nerd channel. We love everything nerd related, cartoons, video games, and we want to start, you know, like branching out, expanding our horizons. So we got a bunch of fan casts in our brains that we're getting ready for that are going to be a bunch of different things other than superheroes, and we think you're really going to love them. So we're going to start this kind of new fan cast Friday genre with a bright, awesome cartoon that we both love. We're going to start with Scooby Doo.
Where are you?
We need some help from you now. So if you love Scooby Doo, then you are going to be in for a treat. I think we both have really good stories ready. I know I love my story, and I grew up with Scooby-Doo. I'm sure everyone that's watching this did. It's probably one of those classic cartoons that, if you don't like Scooby-Doo, you kind of explain why. It's such a solid, like, solve the mystery, really quick episodes. The characters are fun. And we both grew up with the fucking James Gunn movies. Yeah. I mean, they're solid. So, but hey, let's not dilly-dally. Let's get right into the fan casting. All right, so you know how this goes. I go first, Jasean goes second. If you didn't already know that, then you haven't caught up with the other fan casts, so you should probably go fucking watch those or get off this fucking channel, okay? Jesus Christ. What are you doing with your life? But to start with my Scooby-Doo Kids movie.
Get the fuck off the channel.
Like, get off, Stu. So we're gonna go with Scooby-Doo and the Mysterious Island. So, classic Scooby-Doo line, you know. So, this is my Scooby-Doo story. The Scooby Gang has just finished a spooky mystery in Transylvania, stopping an angry farmer wearing a vampire costume to attack and scare off people from perching his farm. With the culprit caught and going to jail, the team gets ready to head back to the States on the first plane ride home. 4 hours into the long flight, everyone is asleep when suddenly a loud metallic sound echoed throughout the plane, waking the Scooby Gang. Shaggy and Scooby go to check on the pilots, but they're missing. The plane starts to nosedive towards the ocean. Fred tries his best to land the plane into the water. To a somewhat successful landing, they help get everyone with light vests and get them off of the plane and to swim to an island not too far from where the plane landed. Where we are, Daphne asks. Velma, using her GPS, gasps loudly. Jinkies! If my calculations are correct, we're right in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. The gang and the other passengers gasp and Scooby jumps into Shaggy's arms. Like, what are we gonna do now? Shaggy says through his chattering teeth. Will the Scooby Gang make it off of the island and solve the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle?
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I know that they've done some episodes with the Bermuda Triangle. There's a couple, but it's always been like fake stuff. So my premise is going to be like, so in the James Gunn movie Monsters Unleashed, it's actually real and they don't know how to deal with it. Also, another favorite one of mine is, you ever seen Scooby-Doo and Supernatural? Yep. Okay. They don't know how to react to real shit. Yeah. So the actual Bermuda Triangle, so there's no actual people in masks. The actual island of the Bermuda Triangle, everything's going to be real. So like monsters, everything's going to be really happening, and they're trying to figure out how to stop the Bermuda Triangle. So I love the Bermuda Triangle. I don't think there's too many movies about it. Yeah. And I know there's a couple episodes, different stuff, but I don't think there's
like 3 episodes and a movie.
I don't think there's a movie about Bermuda Triangle. I think they have Scooby-Doo Pirates Ahoy, and in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle, they have the big orb that the pirates try to get.
I think every monster they do is from the Bermuda Triangle.
No, it's not.
Every episode's pretty much Bermuda Triangle.
It's not. I'm not ripping anything off. This was out of my brain, guys. So the main villain, there really isn't a villain. It's just the Bermuda Triangle, all the weird shit that's going to be happening there. For cameos, I think you're gonna like this. I want the original Scooby Gang from James Gunn's. Yeah, I want the original Scooby Gang to be in the airport. I thought of the scene. They're gonna be in the airport and they're gonna pass by, and Scooby's gonna look at the other dog and go, "Huh?" Yeah, and it's just gonna be a dog, like a regular real dog.
It'd be cool if Scooby was in your shit, like walking past the OG gang, and they had Scrappy, and he's just looking like, huh?
Yeah,
so
right?
It's 2 of the dogs.
Something like that, but I want Matthew Lillard. Like, they're all old, but they're all just the gang, like, walking by the new gang. I want that. Yeah, that'd be great. So that's the cameos. So for the casting. So for Fred, I went with kind of an older cast. Like, you know, they're still, like, not in their prime, but they're, you know, still in the mystery gang. So Fred, I went Josh Hutcherson.
Who's that?
That's the
Oh, I
kid
know
from
who you're
Hunger
talking about.
Games,
Yeah,
Five
yeah,
Nights at
yeah, I know who you're
Freddy's.
talking
Yeah, yeah. I think he'd be like the face and
Mhm.
kind of like a cocky,
Okay.
but also like I also love the Fred from Mystery Incorporated,
Mhm.
where he's just in love with traps and he's just in love with being the leader.
Mhm.
So I want him to. I think Josh Hutcherson can play that.
Okay.
Daphne, I have Sophie Turner. She's the redhead. She plays Jean Grey in the X-Men, the Young X-Men
Yep.
movies. I think she'd be a nice. She's very good looking, but
I
also
was thinking about her, but I was like,
I can think of her doing the makeup and doing like
Yeah.
trying to get off the island. Like, oh, this island sucks. Now with Velma, this might be a little on the nose because I didn't want to go with kind of like a kind of cute nerdy girl. I kind of want to go the James Gunn route where she's like gorgeous, but she's kept under the nerdiness. The nerdiness. I went Ana de Armas. Ana de Arm.
I know who you're talking about.
Ana
Yep.
de, yeah, that girl is fucking
Fucking fine,
gorgeous. And she's also, I think she's Cuban,
Mhm.
and she has but she's good at speaking English. But I can see her as like in the glasses, the
Yeah.
thing, and kind of like she's prettier than Sophie, like kind of that role. But she's so like well kept, and she's like, how do we get really smart? I want to see her in that role. Shaggy, I think you're gonna like this. I have Jack Quaid
That's a good one.
as Shaggy. I think, yeah, I love Jack Quaid. He's such a character. He's awesome in The Boys as Huey, but he's also, like, really fucking fun in so many other movies, and he usually plays the villain, so I'd like to see him as someone, like, a lengthy, Shaggy. Maybe he'll do the voice of, like Scoop, like that, but I don't think anyone's gonna top Matthew Lillard, but Jack Quaid, I feel like, could do a new version of Shaggy. For Scooby, as the voice, we're gonna keep it completely, Frank Weller, who is the original voice of Scooby.
That's what I have.
So exactly.
So
you
it's
gotta
just-
have
yeah,
him as
I think
Scooby.
it's like
You
two
gotta have that. So, yeah, that's just the Scooby gang.
Sounds-
Everyone else around them's just gonna be, people we never seen before. They're just gonna be regular people. But that's my Scooby story. So I kind of went more kiddish. I kind of went with like I grew up with the VHS tapes of like Scooby-Doo Zombie Island, Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invasion, I grew up with the Witch's Ghost. Like I grew up with those types of Scooby-Doos to where it's like they get thrown into something that's actually real. I love those because them just finding out the culprit in the mask is so like TV show episodes, right? I want to see them actually go against something they can't understand.
Yeah.
So that's the way I went to. Does Jasean have a better pick? I don't fucking think so. That is classic Scooby-Doo, but we will see what Jasean's got in store. All right, so now it is time for Jasean's Scooby-Doo movie.
My Scooby-Doo movie is called Scooby Doo Slashed Up. When trying to take down a thief who has been harassing and stealing from a very large, rich town, the gang discovered that this man, who wears a freaky mask and wields a wand, calls himself the Magician, who uses actual real magic. With a good idea on who the criminal is behind the mask, they are ending near on the case. And while hot on his tail, the Magician tries to buy himself some time, so he shoots a beam of light at the gang and yells, "Discover the killer and you will be free," teleporting them to the real world. But they realize this world is not theirs. They are in a town called Woodsboro in California, discovering that there is another case going on with a serial killer who wears a white mask and uses a knife. Can they discover this killer and make it back in time to apprehend the Magician? I knew mine was gonna be better than yours, and you were gonna like it.
Yo!
I made a face when he's like, "Is Shashan's gonna be better than mine?" I don't think so. And I looked at the camera like, Scream's one of his top. He has a tattoo of Scream. It's like top 5 for him.
Yo! That's... I might have to wave the white flag on this one again. That is such an awesome fucking story, because it's like, you're taking... I mean, the same thing I was doing. I was taking the gang into something they've never dealt with, something that's real. But you're going...
It's a mix between cartoon
Exactly. You're taking them from the cartoon. It's kind of like the Supernatural one, but instead of Supernatural going to the cartoon, you're taking them out of the cartoon and putting them in a real world with Woodsboro, with Ghostface. Like, and they have to... Because... the whole thing is finding out who the killer is, and that's so Scooby-Doo. Oh my god.
Find the
that's so
killer,
Scooby-Doo with the copycat. That would be such an awesome movie. I might, you know what? I forfeit. I fucking forfeit. At the end of this, we know who won. But that is the best Scooby-Doo movie I've ever thought of. That's great.
I changed the title last minute because I didn't want to reveal it to you.
What was it called before?
Scooby-Doo and the slashers. Like a slasher film. I was like, I don't want him to catch on a little bit. So I was like, let me type Slashed Up. It sounds a bit more...
No, when you said Slashed Up, I was like, what the fuck? Okay, we're going in a little bit more horror.
I would want mine to be kind of rated R-ish, PG-13 rated R, that area. So I was like, Slashed Up something good too.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's get to the cameos.
So the cameos, I would want Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barana or whatever.
The girls from Scream.
The girls from the
new
later
Screams. Screams, yeah. The new
So
Screams.
I would want them as the cameos.
Okay.
And then obviously
The
I'd
Carpenter
have
sisters.
the OG cast in there, but they would be part of the main cast. They wouldn't be cameos. Because when you get teleported in, they have to figure out the murders. So they would be like watching the main cast a lot, trying to figure out who's doing what and blah, 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 blah. It would be a little bit more than cameos. They wouldn't just be...
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean?
You're saying that that the original Scooby-Doo gang
has to interact with that cast to try and figure out what's going on. But for cameos specifically, like someone walking in the background saying, "Oh, look who it is," I'd want that to be those two in the newer movies.
Yeah.
So
okay, I see that.
So they would be. That's not technically cameos. The OG cast from Scream. But for the gang, when you go live action, I want Lucas Till to play Fred, who is from X-Men. He plays Havoc.
Yeah. Solid.
I'd want Bella Thorne as Daphne. Shake It Up when we grew up as kids was Zendaya, the redhead. She dated
Is that the OnlyFans chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. She's the one that broke OnlyFans the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I can see her as that.
And then for Velma, I wanted Ariel Winter from Modern Family, the smart sister, the brunette.
Oh! Whoa, I didn't even think of that. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a solid fucking one. Hell yeah.
I thought of that because I was watching this. I was on TikTok and I saw this Modern Family thing, and I was
clips,
like, oh, wow.
That is so Velma. Yeah.
And for Shaggy, Joe Curry from Stranger Things, who plays, or just did the song, and when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it.
Oh, yes, he's got the
Steve.
Scraggly hair. Yeah.
Steve in Stranger Things.
I don't really watch Stranger Things. I just know the
that's
characters.
why I did
but
the
I know
song, 'cause I
him
figured
from
you would know.
a bunch of other stuff too.
Mhm.
He's yeah, I could definitely see him as a Shaggy too.
Mhm.
Get a little scruff on him, green shirt.
And then you'd bring back the OG cast, kind of them being watched by the gang, like, okay, that guy's doing this and this.
Yeah.
So everyone would be in it, but
that'd be so meta too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then obviously Scooby, Frank Weller.
Yes, Frank Weller.
Yeah,
Scooby.
gotta have that. He's the best Scooby-Doo voice. And yeah, solid. God, I love yours. Fuck. Well, usually I talk shit and I say, will it beat mine? Yes, it beat me.
I don't know. The Bermuda Triangle sounds pretty.
I still love mine. I see mine as like one of those VHS sets as live action of something like if James Gunn gotta do a third one, I think that'd be great. But God, yours hit so hard because I'm a horror nut. But yeah. So I guess Jasean wins. All right. So you've heard both stories. You've heard mine, Scooby-Doo and the Mysterious Island.
And you heard mine, Scooby-Doo Slashed Up.
Which one did you think wins? Do you think it was mine or do you think it was Jasean's? Which one would you rather go see if you had a movie ticket? I'd watch Jasean's. Mine's cool. Some cool shit. There's been episodes already done about it. I've been ripping shit off all night, but hey, either way, I'll probably sneak into mine. I'm not gonna pay for it, but Jasean he really knocked it out of the park this time. So there's no battle. If you do want to see mine, leave it in the comments below. I mean, I don't know who's seeing mine. I'd probably pay for your ticket to go see his. That was awesome. But either way, thank you for another Fancast Friday. We hope you're having a good Friday, and we thank you for being one of the inmates here at the asylum. Peace.